Hey, hello again, everybody. It is Mr. Bone again with the seventh grade essential question. And today we are going to talk about question number 5. How did Europe develop? And as always, we're going to ask, what do I need to know in order to answer this question? Well, we're going to first figure out, where do we begin? We're going to begin all the way back with Greece and their contributions to what we call Western civilization and what becomes eventually Europe. We're going to talk about Rome. Where did they pick up from Greece? And what happens when they fall? How do they fall? What effect does that have on Europe when Rome falls? It's a big one. Then we're going to talk about the Byzantines. Yes, the lesser known cousin of the Romans who filled in and essentially ruled most of Europe, or civilized Europe. We're going to use that word lightly, for about 1,000 years. Very long lasting empire, but most of us haven't heard of the Byzantines before. So who are they? Next, we're going to go to other places, and we're going to, not other places, but other times. And we're going to talk about the Dark or Middle Ages. That's what's going to happen after Rome collapses. And so what were those ages all about? That also is going to include some more Viking information. So we get to go back and revisit the Vikings. We're going to talk about this wonderful man called Charlemagne, or Charles Magnus, and what his contributions were to Europe. We'll end up talking about the Renaissance age, or the Age of Enlightenment. There are a lot of that you guys have heard of, some names that you know of. This is what I sometimes refer to as the Ninja Turtle phase, and some of you already know what that's about and why I would say that. Next one is the Age of Exploration. As we get into the Renaissance, we're also going to get into this Age of Exploration, which really brings Europe over to our side of the continent or of the world for the first time. And so we could see how this Age of Enlightenment, or the Renaissance, is going to affect the rest of the world as people go out and start to explore new places. Finally, that's going to bring us to modern Europe, and one of your biggest projects of the third marking period, or actually the biggest of the third marking period, will be your Europe project. And so we'll start working on that in quite a bit of time from now, but we will be starting to work on it. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be covering on Europe. This question will be up on our board for quite a long time as our current essential question. So we need to put all this stuff together, all the way back from ancient Greece all the way up to modern times, so we can understand how Europe developed. And why would we be interested in that? Well, for most of us, especially here in the United States, this is where our background comes from. So if we want to know who we are, we kind of have to figure out who they are and where they came from. So I hope everybody's ready to take off and get some more information on Europe, and use this if you end up having to use the exam for the semester to get some credit, or use it as a way to study and refresh for the unit as we go along. It is a long unit, so you may need to come back and take a look at it again to see where we're going. And hope this helps. Thanks a lot.